Hello and welcome to week 7 of the Active Body and Mind program. Today we're going to be chatting about how it is that we can enhance our mind-body awareness. Because when we're listening to the signals our body is sending us all the time, then we can find ways in which we can ensure we're meeting our body's needs and getting back to our blueprint of optimal health and well-being. Annette Noonan is the author of The Body is the Barometer of the Soul, and she says that in this life we have one responsibility, and that is to take care of yourself. The body is the barometer that tells you when you are not. If you're experiencing pain or illness, it's your body's way of telling you that you're not meeting your needs. Once we can tune in to the signals our body is telling us, we can start making choices with volition. To realize how it is that our emotions are affecting our overall health and well-being. How the negative emotions that we may be choosing are having a direct impact on the way in which we are or aren't able to meet our body and health transformation goals. You may recall back in week 7 that we explored the impact that stress was having in our lives. Not just in our lives, in our day-to-day experiences, but the way in which we're functioning, our physiology within our body. And emotions are a key influencer of our physiology within our body. There are over 3,000 emotions that we can be experiencing at any time, yet for many of us, we may fluctuate between 3 to 4 emotions. And the question to ask is whether or not the emotions that you're choosing to experience are the ones you want to be experiencing. Or whether perhaps you're missing out on a whole range of emotions that would give you a very different overall quality of life, as well as health and well-being. When I have discussions with clients about goal setting, one of the things that often comes up is what they truly want is to be happy. To be happy in all areas of our life is something that I think for many of us, we often think is something we're working towards as a goal. Yet happiness and emotions are a state, they're not a goal in themselves. And in fact, we can choose to experience those emotions anytime we want. All we need to do is think of a time in the past where we felt those emotions and we can experience it right now. I had this experience not so long ago. Perhaps it wasn't so by choice, yet I had the realization, the awareness that assisted me to see that in fact it was choice. And that was as I was listening to some music. And a song came on, U2's With or Without You. And immediately I felt this sense of sadness. I started thinking about my mum, and I started thinking about all the things that I missed. And the more I thought about it, the more the memories I brought up, the more the emotions just welled up in me, and I found myself crying. Yet it was in that moment that I had the awareness to realize that it was a choice I was making. I chose to take in those feelings. I chose to focus on what it was that I was missing, rather than all the things in my life that I was happy about. Now, once I had the awareness and I could see I was choosing sadness, I chose in that moment to experience those emotions. Yet I also was able to choose how to get out of that place, how to switch my emotions back to where I wanted to be, rather than to stay in that state for hours or possibly even days. And it was in that moment that I realized the power that we have, the way in which we can choose our emotions, and how this has such profound impact not only on our health and well-being, but the overall quality of our lives. Annette Noonan also goes on to describe how emotions are actually separate from feelings. She describes emotions as the way in which we react to the outside world, as opposed to feelings, which are more of the signals that our body is sending us internally. She describes the feelings as being the signals that our body is sending us. And the realization that I've had as I've been able to see this distinction is that once we're able to choose our emotions, to notice how it is that we're responding to the external world, we can start to actually tune in and have greater awareness on the feelings, the signals that our body is actually sending us, as opposed to letting our emotions rule our lives. So why is it, do you think, that we want to listen? Deepak Chopra says the key to happiness starts with our body signals. Yet how often is it that we try to numb the signals that our body is sending us? Perhaps the first thing that you may reach for is Panadol when you're suffering a headache, or thinking about what sort of medication you could take, or at the end of a stressful week, how it is you can just forget about the week and numb the pain by going out and doing whatever it is to take your mind off it. How often is it that we try to escape the pain we may be experiencing in our lives and then find that we keep getting more of the same? One of my mentors, Paul Chek, says that pain is our best friend. Pain is our body's way of telling us something's not right here, something needs to change. Once I have had this realization myself, I've found that I've been able to make choices to really assist my body to do the healing that it wants to be doing. So for example, when I got sick not so long ago, rather than fighting through it and finding ways to just keep going on, I asked myself, what is it that I really need right now? And I got a strong message: you need rest. So I took myself to bed and I slept for well over 12 hours. And what I found was that by the time I woke up, I was pretty much ready to go. My body had done the healing it needed. I'd taken the rest to give myself the chance to recover. And then I was up and out of here, ready to go. Yet how often is it that we ignore those first signs, we ignore the first signals that our body is sending us, and we aim to just soldier on? Well, how would it be if instead you made the choices that your body... How would it be instead if you could make the choices to give your body what it is you need in those moments? To notice how that will give you the health and well-being that you're seeking, rather than soldiering on at times when your body's just saying you need to rest. So today we're going to be discovering how it is we can improve that body connection to get those signals, to be able to learn and listen from those signals, to make choices more easily in any area of our lives. Now, this mind-body concept, the belief that we can actually improve our health and well-being by having a greater awareness, is not new. In fact, this has been around for centuries. It's the basis of many of the traditional Chinese medicines and the foundation of Ayurvedic medicine. Yet, Western medicine today often comes from a completely different view, separating the idea that the mind and the body are connected. Of course, this is now starting to change, and there is a greater awareness throughout many Western medicines as well of the importance and relevance of the mind-body awareness, and how by improving that awareness we can actually improve our overall health and well-being. So let's have a look at some of the steps we can start taking today to enhance our mind-body awareness. Now, these steps have been derived from Deepak Chopra and also from Paul Chek and his holistic health lifestyle teachings, as well as Annette Noonan and The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. So let's have a look. So the first step is to increase awareness, to sit rather than respond. So a good example of how it is that you could put this into action is when you notice those emotions as something happens externally. Let's say, for example, you're driving in traffic, which we're not often doing in Groote Eylandt, I admit. You're driving and there does happen to be another car on the road that cuts you off. And you notice that those feelings of anger, of whatever you may be feeling, start rising up inside of you. Rather than respond and react at that emotional state, instead you could choose to sit and just be grounded with those emotions. And one of the ways that you can assist yourself to do that is by just taking a few slow, deep breaths. This, if you like, breaks state. It assists you to create a space before experiencing the emotion and reacting. And it assists you to see the different choices in which you can make. Once you have the awareness of the emotion, you can then make a choice and you can actually choose which way you'd like to go. Whether you'd like to continue to build up that emotion, to react, to respond in an emotional way, or whether you choose to let that emotion just go through you and leave you and respond in the way that you choose. So awareness is the first step. The second, to feel and accept what you feel. Once you've actually taken the step of increasing awareness, you may notice that you can start to experience and feel those signals within your body. So for example, when you are feeling a bit run down, asking yourself what it is that you need and feeling the way in which your body responds. Notice how it is you're feeling when you participate in different activities and whether you're experiencing more energy or less, whether you're experiencing enjoyment or not. And learning how it is that you can actually tune in and start responding to the feelings, the signals that your body is sending you. And the second step is to feel and accept what you feel. So by accepting what you feel, we're not judging how it is that we feel. So once you've increased your awareness around the emotions, you can start to notice the feelings that you're experiencing inside your body, as well as the emotions from external situations. So as you're noticing the feelings within your body, you can start to see how it is that different things you're choosing to do, whether they're working for you or not. And to just notice those feelings and tune in to where and how it is that you're experiencing, what times of the day. So for example, if it's at the end of a long week and you've told yourself that you really need to go out and run, and in that moment you're starting to feel fatigue and just feeling like perhaps you just need to take it easy, well, that might be a good time to tune into those feelings and to make a choice as to how you can actually give yourself energy rather than expend energy at a time when you're already perhaps quite low in energy. And step number 3, to collapse negative emotions and take charge of the emotions you're experiencing. So you may not realise, but like I was saying with the song that I'd heard of which triggered in me emotions of sadness, there are triggers we experience every day all around us. It could be the people we see, the noises we hear, the tone in someone's voice. All of these are triggers which lead to emotional states. So in the past you may have thought it was just you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Now you'll see that there are triggers around you which align with those emotions. So something from your past which a trigger will take you back to, an emotional state that you may well have experienced many times before, but perhaps you're choosing now to experience some different emotions and you no longer want to hold on to those emotions. So if that's the case, we can start exploring how it is that you can collapse those emotions and start experiencing the emotions that are going to assist you to keep moving forward. This week in our group coaching sessions, we're going to be having a bit of fun with this. We're going to be stacking some positive resource anchors so that when those negative emotions come up, you can fire off your positive resources and collapse those negative emotions. So I'm looking forward to having some fun with you around that. And the next step, to be open and to trust your body. So once you've been tuning in and accepting the feelings, it's trusting that your body does actually know best. Deepak Chopra has a couple of suggestions as to how it is we can start tuning in to what it is that our body is trying to tell us. He describes this in 3 key aspects to how to listen to the signals of our body. He talks specifically about how it is we can make choices to maximize the energy we have in our body. So a bit like the example I provided earlier. What are the choices that you can make on a day-to-day basis to increase your overall energy levels in your body? The second that he talks about is before you act on your emotions, consult your heart. So rather than reacting to an external situation, perhaps taking the time to go to your heart and to ask how it is that you really feel about this experience. Are you responding to the experience based on the facts and the situation in front of you, or is it taking you back to an experience from the past and perhaps you're allowing old emotions, old thoughts rule yourself in that moment? By going into your heart, you're giving yourself the opportunity to be totally present and to come from your heart rather than your head. which is always going to lead to the outcome that is going to serve you in that moment. And the third step that he talks about, which is that lightness is an indicator of happiness. So when you're feeling heaviness and dullness in your body, this is a sign that perhaps there is disharmony within you. And getting back to happiness, getting back to harmony, that mind-body connection, is what's going to assist you to feel that overall sense of lightness and well-being. And then we've got the fifth step, which is to embrace flexibility and spontaneity. So to allow ourselves and to allow our bodies and minds to experience the flexibility, the variety that life has to offer, rather than being rigid and stuck in the one place. If you think about it, being rigid breaks when it bends, as opposed to being flexible, which bends and moves with the flow and the ebb of life. That's always going to lead to greater health and well-being outcomes. Being able to be flexible in the way in which we respond to the different challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis, both within our bodies and within our worlds. And the sixth step, to enjoy what it is your body wants to do. So our bodies like to move, our bodies like to be pampered, to relax. We like to feel free, we like to do things that we enjoy. So enjoy what it is that you and your body wants to do, and have fun in the different experiences that you want to have in your day-to-day basis. Enjoy what it feels like to be in your body and to be you. And the seventh step, which we're actually going to be exploring a lot further over the coming weeks, is how it is that you can live in line with your core values to ensure that you're linking your mind and your body, and you're living in a way that is meeting your body's needs. And these core values are ones in which you will be developing for yourself, yet they'll be guided and inspired by Paul Chek and his teachings through the book How to Eat, Move and Be Healthy. So those are the 7 steps that you can start taking this week to enhance your mind-body awareness, to improve your overall health and well-being, to see how it is that by you responding to your body's needs, you're actually able to be responding and choosing the ways in which you can take action on a day-to-day basis to meet your body's needs, to know how to filter out the information that isn't working for you and to filter in that which is. So this has been week 7 of the Active Body and Mind program. I'd love to hear how you go developing that mind-body awareness even greater than it is right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye for now.